His team really responded. Championship medal throughout, again without A.J. Mitchell and J-Dub, but they found a way where they really struggled to generate good looks in San Antonio in Game 4. Tonight, the offense flowed from the outset. This is a series high for them, 127 points. What stands out to you?
Yeah, I thought the offense really played at a greater pace, a lot more force. That was something that Coach Mark talked about coming out of that Game 4, where the Spurs, to their credit, really ramped up the physicality and really took the kind of the fight to the Thunder, so to speak. And OKC just didn't react all that great. I thought the Thunder played hard throughout the game, tried to stay close, but just couldn't hang tight. But the Thunder did a much better job of playing more forceful, really kind of attacking with a lot more physicality, playing through the Spurs' physicality. Obviously, getting to the free throw line 38 times in this game. I mean, yeah. the whistle was certainly different in this game, I think, clearly. But just overall, the Thunder, just the attacks were sharper, the attacks were better. And I thought the Thunder just continue to showcase really good defensive principles on Victor Wembanyama. There's been 2 games where he's really gotten loose, and he's been able to really disrupt the Thunder because he's been able to score so much at the basket, which has really opened up his perimeter game, Matt. But I thought the Thunder have done a really good job for the most part in this series, and tonight really highlighted how good they've done at keeping him away from the spots he wants to get to.
4 of 15 in this game. He missed all 5 of his threes, limited to 6 rebounds. Now, he wound up with 20 points because he got to the foul line 12 times. But when you look at the tandem of Chet Holmgren a double-double, Isaiah Hartenstein a double-double, collaborating for 26 rebounds and 28 points, Ihart was plus 25 in this game, Royce, and continues to bring the thump. It looks to me like Wemby is physically worn down. Who knows if he can find a way to kind of get his body ready for Game 6 in San Antonio Thursday. But the Thunder, in a war of attrition, as every other day cadence in this series, seem like they take the upper hand south.
No doubt. I love that you brought up Hart and Chet. I mean, Hart has done just so many winning things since he's been in Oklahoma City, Matt. I mean, but just tonight, you see it with the screen setting and then the floater game. It's been so impressive to watch Hart just have so much confidence offensively and understand he's a weapon on the offensive end with the way that the Spurs are scheming Shea and sending so much help to him. But also Chet, Chet had just played an absolute monster game tonight. And I don't think the stat line at all is going to really tell the story of how good Chet was throughout this game. I loved early on in this game him taking advantage of the mismatches, scoring over Vassell, scoring over Champagny. That's something we saw Chet do, Matt, early in the postseason, was taking advantage of some of those small cross matches. He did a great job of just being decisive and really kind of setting the tone for the Thunder's offense, I thought, early on.
Wild card, Jared McCain. It's a
man.
start for the first time in his NBA life. Given that Mark Daigneault decided, I got to shuffle the cards here a little bit. This is when Cason Wallace's thumping off the bench defensively. And did J-Mac ever excel? Only 2 points at halftime and missed an open corner 3 from right in front of the bench going to the locker room. But we know he's relentless in his attacks and continues to fire. His teammates say, we know what's going up with Jared, and we see it go in a lot of times. Winds up with 20 points, 18 after halftime. Didn't shy away from any huge shot and played the crowd like a maestro. We haven't seen that in a very long time in this building.
He is the hot hand on standby all the time. I mean, it's like he just needs to see literally one go in, and I think that he just turns on the microwave right there. I thought Jared McCain, like you said, a lot of it was to try to insert a little offensive punch, I think, to really try to get the Spurs off of Shea to some degree, really kind of have that weak side attacker that if the ball gets swung over the weak side, you could have another player that could really attack the Spurs, punish them from the three-point line. But Jared McCain is also good at getting downhill, really kind of starting the blender and forcing the Spurs into rotation. So understand why, and also just keeping Cason with that bench unit. He's been so good with that group. But you pointed out just the second half, McCain had the confidence that he has to step into threes. To me, the big sequence of the game, Spurs had cut it, I think, to 9 or 8. Shea found Hart for a little floater right here. Great find by Shea. Then the Thunder get a stop. Vassell doesn't finish. He falls out of bounds, and the Thunder recognized that, Matt, and immediately got out and ran. Shea hit McCain on the fly, and McCain drills a transition 3. Huge turn in the game.
He is so quick on his release and decisive when he sees the rim and not a defender in front of him. Just fun to watch. Mark Daigneault, I know, had some fun tonight with this team. Here are his comments post-game.
Hey, Mark. You said the other night that the global approach didn't benefit anybody. I wasn't sure at the time whether you meant the process or the results, but tonight it felt like you guys sort of recaptured this connectivity. How, I guess, is what I'm curious about, and what changed from tonight to the other night.
I mean, we obviously played a lot better in terms of our process, and then also, the outcome. But, it's I don't know how it's a playoff series. It's, if you look at any playoff series that goes to 6 games at least, there's going to be some tough games, and we had a tough game there tonight. This team does a great job of just coming back in the next day in a very neutral way, taking whatever the lessons are, applying them forward, but then getting ourselves into the next opportunity. I thought we did that really well tonight, obviously.
Yeah, Mark, Jared gets to start.
Sorry.
Jared gets to start tonight, and although his shot wasn't falling early, he seemed to give you guys some really good energy. First, is that what you were looking for by giving him the start? And then second, just talk about what it meant to you guys with the energy that he did give you.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, I'm not like crazy about who the starters are. It's just the first substitution. We just thought, he could give us some good stuff with that unit, just based on where we are right now with a couple of guys out. And he did. He was really good. His pop early was excellent. And he kept himself in the game, and had that flurry in the third and then the flurry again in the fourth. So great mental toughness. I never take it for granted when somebody steps into a role like that in a game like this, but certainly not surprised. He's got great moxie and confidence, and he showed that tonight.
Mark, Shea just said on the broadcast he thought that might have been the worst start he's had in a game. What did you think about kind of his all-around performance and the way that he was able to manage what was a pretty rough start for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I always marvel at with him is his ability to course correct inside of a game. He usually doesn't go a full game struggling like that. He obviously didn't have his fastball early, but he stays so present. His confidence never wavers. He really has great trust in himself, and that was on display tonight. And then the other point I'll make is I thought our collective aggressiveness allowed us to absorb kind of some sloppiness. I mean, we had multiple sloppy plays tonight, including him, but not limited to him. But because we were so aggressive and because we were moving the ball so well, flying the ball up the floor, that allows you to absorb some of those mistakes and stay in rhythm despite that, and gives you the upside of some of the plays we were able to make. So I thought the approach was great. It allowed us to, like I said, absorb a rough start for him and the team, and then he was obviously brilliant after that start.
Mark, just to follow up on Shea, when you're coming off a blowout loss like that and you're still down a couple of lead guards, do you see any kind of shift in him, whether it's in his approach, how he takes on the game before or during a game like this?
I really honestly don't. He's so, one of the things about him is he's so consistent. His temperament's the same all the time. His approach is the same all the time. His floor game, is the same all the time. He obviously was sloppy early, but I didn't think it was approach-based. That's one of the things that really is a superpower of his. And I think it gives the team tremendous confidence as, we've navigated these situations throughout the year and throughout years. Last year we were in a similar spot, not in the playoffs, but regular season. I think his consistency of approach and of tone has a lot to do with our ability to just stay very steady, even if things are unsteady, outside of our team.
Mark, specifically in the half court defensively, what stood out to you about just the coordination of the defense, the rotations, and the coverages to limit some of the stuff in the middle of the floor in particular?
Yeah, I thought we were first to the fight tonight, on both ends, and